Tim Maxwell from Airstream. Today I want to talk about installing a bike rack on the back of an Airstream trailer. What I have here is a 2012 Flying Cloud. We also have the Fiamma bike rack already installed. Now this Fiamma bike rack is adjustable for the different widths of the Airstream trailer. Fiamma bike rack as it sits without any bikes on it weighs about 21 pounds, and then it has the capacity to hold about 77 pounds of bicycles. So you can see we're still under 100 pounds. The very first thing that I want to do when installing the bike rack is going to remove the contents from the box. The bike rack's going to come in a box that looks something similar to this, so I'm going to remove the contents from the box and lay it out on a nice work area. Okay, so now I've taken the contents and laid it out here on a table. You can see I got my bicycle carrier, I got my brackets, I got all my nuts and my bolts laid out and identified. I got my bicycle holders, which is right up here. I got my two adjusting arms, and we're going to talk about them here in a little bit. My supports, and then my bracketry. I also have my owner's manual, my assembly instructions all in one. I got a hammer, just a nylon hammer, so I'm not going to mar anything up. I got a cordless drill with a number 10 socket. I got an open-end wrench, number 10. Tape measure, most importantly, my safety glasses. Slide my safety glasses on, we're ready to get started. The first thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to measure the distance between the frame rails. I'm going to lay it right up here, measure that. I have 67 and an eighth. There's three different possible variations we're going to see on that. We're either going to see 59, 61 and a half, or 67 and an eighth. And that accommodates the different widths of the Airstream trailer. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take my two arms coming down here. These are this arm here, this arm over here. There's a bushing. It's not a right or left. One side will do the other side. There's a bushing right down here to the bottom. This bushing goes down at the bottom. So this is going to set up just like so. I'm going to take my other one and set it up just like so. Now notice that we got three different holes up here. The very first hole, this is going to be for my 67 and an eighth. My second hole is going to be for 61 and a half. And then this hole here is going to be for 59 inches. And then my support or my centers have one hole in it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to line these up. My sticker goes to the outside. So I'm going to come up and I'm going to slide them in that way, slide it in this way, and I'm going to go to that very first hole. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the bottom. I'm going to slide this one in, and then I'm going to come through with my M6 by 5. Full threads. These ones get the full threads. We have 2 or 3 different types of M6 by 5.0. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put these through, but these get full threads. I'm going to get that fastened up, and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay. So now I got them in there. What I did, I got my nuts with washer on the back side. Look and see through. My nut fastens on the back side. My bolt comes through the front side. So all of our nuts are on the back side and we don't see it. So here we go. We got that put together. The very next thing, we have our bushings down here in the ends. Clear on the front side. Now these bushings have to go to the bottom, as I pointed out earlier. The very next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring over the bike rack, and this bike rack is going to come around. The bike support's going to come around, and it's going to fasten right up here and fasten right onto there. And again, I'm going to come back through with my nuts and my bolts. The bolts are going to come through and the nuts are going to be on the inside. I'll get them fastened up and I'll see you here in a little bit. So we got it all fastened up. Hey, look here. This is starting to resemble a bike rack, isn't it? Just what we was after. I'm going to lay this right up there, just on the table. And it's nice if we lay the edge right over on the table. That way it sets up straight. If we try and lay the whole thing on the table, it's going to lean over. So we're just going to lay the whole thing right there on the table. Now we're going to come to our brackets. There's going to be 8 of these. Now these are the brackets that mounts our legs to actually our bike rack together. There's 8 of these, and you notice there's a big side and then there's a small side. As noted, the small side goes right over here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to start coming up through and I'm going to put these on each side of here just like so. And I'm going to bolt them up through. Okay, we're back again. Now you can see I'm going to bend this down a little bit, but I got all 8 of my brackets on. I got the brackets on the back side, the bracket on the front side, on each 4 support columns. And then I got my bolts coming through with my nuts and the washers on the back side. But look, notice how these are loose yet? I haven't tightened them up. And that's because I'm going to slide in my 2 support arms. Now these support arms go on the sides of the trailer here. I got a right hand side and I got a left hand side. This one right here is going to be for the road side. My one right over here is going to be for the curb side. I'm going to lay this down right here on the curb side. I'm going to take this up. Now there's 2 more things that we have to remember to put on. These right here, these 2 brackets are going to come right here. And they're going to just slide up there where they don't get fastened in. They just get slid in there loosely. And that's for the support, the top support to hold them on. One on the curb side, one on the road side. I'm going to take this up. I'm just going to slide it up from the bottom side. Slide over my arm, my bracket. Down through. And then slide this up into place. And then we're going to fasten it in. I'm going to fasten with this M6 by 6.5. Slide that through. I'm going to do that on both sides. Now don't forget on this curb side to put this one up as well. I'm going to get this all fastened up and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, we got our support board arms on. These are on. Again, these is what's going to hold up them top mounting brackets. This is loose, and we're going to fasten these up here in a little bit. So we got this all done. The next step that we're going to do is start to mount it to the Airstream trailer. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go get my Airstream trailer, and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm here. I got the trailer that we're going to be installing the bike rack on. The next thing I want to do is the supports for the arms. These get mounted to the frame rail right here off to the side. The very next thing that I want to do, I want to take them and I want to flip them upside down, and I'm going to mark from the bottom side up 2 inches on each side. I'm going to do that to both of them. And that's where it mounts to the top of the frame rail. So this is going to sit down 2 inches below the top of the frame rail. I'm going to bring them over here. I'm going to mark my holes on the frame rail and I'm going to drill it. Okay, so I got the mark edge, the 2 inches up from the bottom. I'm going to put that up here, and then I'm going to leave that 2-inch mark on the back side. And I want to stay 3/8 of an inch. I want this gap here to be 3/8 of an inch. So I got that all lined up, just like so. I'm going to come through and I'm going to finish drilling my holes. And I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, now you notice I got them on there. 2 inches up from the bottom. That's going to be the top of my frame rail. I got my nuts and my bolts put on it, but they're in loose. The very next thing that I want to do now, since they're loose, I'm going to grab my bike rack and I'm just going to slide it on. Here's my bike rack. You can see I have 2 holes here, 2 holes in there, and since they're loose, they're going to slide right in there. I'm going to get them slid in. I'm going to fasten them up. I'm going to put my bolts in, and then it's fastened to the trailer. I'm going to get that done. We'll see you here in a little bit. So we got them tight, and I'm just going to come back through and make sure everything's tight. I'm going to go over to that side, make sure that's tight, and then I'm going to come up through and make sure that all my other lock nuts are tight. Get that done. See you shortly. Okay, look where I'm at now. I got my carriage bolts through. I got my nuts on the outside, so when I shut this, my nuts and my bolt would not hit the lid. So that's all on the outside, both sides, and I got it tightened up. So now the bike rack is fastened to the back of the trailer. The very next thing I'm going to do, I want to install my support arms up here to support this top. There's 2 of them that come with the trailer. Notice that one side is a little bit longer than the other side. The long side goes towards the inside of the trailer, just like so. I'm going to measure down 4.5 inches, and that's going to be to the top of the bracket. Going to do that on both sides. One on this side, 4.5, and that's to the top of the bracket. I'm going to take my drill bit. The long part of the bracket faces the inside. I'm going to put it right at the seam. Okay, so now I got my 2 outer edge holes drilled with a number 30 into that support. Now there's 2 supports that run here and run here, right along that rivet seam. It's very important. Got my rubber piece. My rubber piece goes to the back side of the pad. That's what's going to seal it. And then I'm going to grab my number 10 by 1 inch stainless steel screws. And I'm going to mount this to the trailer. Now I got the outside stainless steels in. I'm going to come ahead and put the insides in. Draw that up very nice and tight. Want to draw it up and get that tight up there so we don't have any water leaks. That gasket's going to seal that. Okay, so we got them up tight. They're nice and level. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to fasten the 2 together. But what I want to do before I fasten it, I want to make sure that it's sitting really straight up and down. I don't want it leaning back off to the one side. I want it very nice and level. I'm going to come back and look at it, make sure it's nice and true and plumb. I'm going to put a level on it, level up the trailer, put a level on this, and then I'm going to come back up through, drill my holes, and then fasten that with my nuts. Now, if this sits farther away or closer, I can cut this off. But since I don't have to cut this off, I'm going to come through. I'm going to put my caps in it. Just like so. Slide it up through. Grab my drill bit. Okay, I got my hole drilled in the center to mark it. I'm going to come up through. Again, Bolts come to the outside. I'm going to put my bolt through. I'm going to fasten this side up, that side, and then I'm going to tighten them up. Get that done, we're ready for the next step. Okay, so now I got my support arms tightened, but look really, my distance between here is the same. My support arms are tight up against. I got the same gap on both sides, and it's solid. So now as we speak, that bike rack is installed. The next thing I want to do is grab these. These come apart. They'll lay down just like so. I'll open this up. They get installed to the back outside. This is going to lay over. And tighten up. Now these are fully adjustable. They can go anywhere you want for your bicycle size. That goes on that side. I'm going to grab my other one. This would be for the outside bicycle. The shorter one's going to be for the inside. And it's exactly the same way. And I'm going to put it on. Okay, so we got this on. This is going to be for the outside bike. This one's going to be for the inside bike. Fully adjustable. The next thing we do is we have our stays. This is going to fold up into place. Two of these are going to come with it. These snap on to the sides. This is going to lock up into place. And hold it up into place. Something else that I want to talk about is our license plate. Remember that if we're going to obstruct the license plate, we have to move it, get it down so the authorities can see it. Last but not least, I want to put all my covers on. I got my cover for my feet, and then I got all my little nut covers here on the back side that we're going to be installing. The feet covers, I'm just going to slide these on. Real nice and easy. And then I'm going to start putting all my nut covers on. We're going to get all the nut covers on and make sure they're all fastened up. Very nice. Take my hammer. Again, the nylon hammer, and going to put them in. Now there's two different types of nut covers. We got the small ones for these supports, and then we got the bigger ones for the larger nuts. Okay, with every bike rack comes a strap. This strap has two purposes. One, when it's in the down position and we have our bicycles on it, this is going to strap and this is going to hold the bicycles for added support. The other time is when it's in the closed position. This strap is going to come up through and secure it in the closed position. Just going to bring it right up through, right up around here, fasten it up, and then we have it. That's our strap holding it in place. So you can see the bike rack, we do have it installed. Again, the bike rack has a capacity of 77 pounds. Bike rack itself weighs about 21 pounds. That's less than 100 pounds off the back of the trailer. And the very last thing that we want to do, every bike rack has a serial number that's stamped on here. I want to write the serial number down and the date of purchase on the back side of the owner's manual. That way we have it for future reference. Well, I hope you found this helpful. Thank you and have a great day.